Start.
So we have the transcription and recording.
Excellent. Looks like we've got everyone in. So shall we kick off? Everyone's ready? All right. Well, kia ora koutou and welcome to this webinar. Just a quick housekeeping, this webinar is being recorded. My name is Frida Wells. I'm in the engagement team here at the Electricity Authority. And the topic today is improving visibility of competition in the over-the-counter or OTC contract market to do with Clause 216 notice. And as you know, the OTC market is a key part of hedge market developments, and hedge markets is an umbrella term for all the markets that industry participants use to manage risks. And just quickly running over the purpose of this webinar is just to give an overview of the notice, to point out the changes made since the last consultation, to inform you of key dates and provide you with an opportunity to ask questions about whether data needs to be submitted, and if so, how to do this. So just a reminder, the scope of the webinar is around the OTC bids and offers, data submission to the authority, and the recently published Clause 2.16. So our presenter today is Paulo Soares, who is a quantitative analyst in the legal monitoring and compliance team here at the authority. And after Paulo's presentation, we'll also have joining us James Goodchild, Senior Analyst in the Wholesale and Supply team, and Julia Hall, who is the Manager of Legal Monitoring and Compliance team, to assist with the Q&A. So over to you, Paulo.
Thank you, Frida, and welcome everybody. So I'll be, as Frida mentioned, presenting to you this notice, and I'll have some time for Q&A at the end. So here's what we'll cover in the session. We'll start with a brief summary of the notice, especially the key points. And then we'll move to the changes and the points we would like you to note from this notice. So highlight some of the important points. We'll also touch on things you should know before submitting your information. And the submission process itself should be relatively straightforward, and we hope this session will make it even easier for you. And then we'll have time for questions again in the end, as I mentioned. So the notice in a nutshell, just really 3 points here. First point is who must provide the data. That obligation falls on the requesters, right? And then the question that comes, so who are the requesters in this case? Retailers, generators, and industrials, as long as they buy electricity from the clearing manager, and also as long as they has or had been active in the OTC market in the past. Second point, what data must be provided? That's for buy and sell requests of 0.1 megawatts or more. And here's the detail, only initial bids and final offers, and only requests made in writing. Right? Data must be submitted to the authority via authorities SFTP. And just a friendly reminder here, the first submission is no later than 14 October this year. So be reminding this deadline a few times during this presentation. Apologies if I do that too many times, but just good to have that in mind. Moving on, so the changes and points we wanted to note from this notice. Really 4 points here. The first one is the demand response. You will note that we added some extra fields to cover the demand response. So that's to better capture information on the details of these contracts. And also you note that we extended the deadline for extension. Now we have 10 working days. Previously it was 5, a little more time. And if you need an extension, just please email us at monitoring@ea.govt.nz. And then the things that we'd like you to note, for example, if you're disclosing a PPA, please enter G under the energy type offer field in the notice. That's just really a friendly reminder, but we thought it was important to add here. And then the definition of applicable participant, right? From the notice, if a participant has never made a request in the past and has not made a request in the current quarter, they're not an applicable participant. So no action is needed from this participant because it's not considered an applicable participant for this notice. In summary, the participant has to be, or the requester has to be, or was active in the OTC market. And then the things before we want you to know before submitting your information. First, we have CSV templates available on our website. So all the files that you need will be in a zip file, a compressed file. Just download that file, and you see all the respective CSV files that we need you to send back to us with the information. Something we noticed in previous data submissions from other notices and stuff, we would like to remind you to enter dates using year, month, and day format. This will be highly appreciated. And then also note that the data types and formats are explained in our website. So we have a short guidance on what the data types and formats we use, or we usually have on our notices. But again, if you have issues or have a contract that is not fitting the format, please let us know. Same email, monitoring@ea.chovt.nz. And again, our website has all the information you need in one place, as we are going to see here. So this is the website, clause 2.16 notice. You're probably familiar with this one. Then you can come here to number 5, which is this notice that we're talking about. And you see we have like an FAQ document. You can just open, you see some of the questions that we covered today and some other questions too. You also have the CSV templates here. We'll see you download, show up, and just opening here as an example. You have all the 6 files that I mentioned before. Since it's a template, I have this as a name of the file and then year and quarter X. This X should be the quarter that you are submitting data for, and the year, of course, is the year 2. So there's that. And finally, there's, of course, the notice itself in here as well. You can just open. All the information you need is also here. So feel free to have a look. And then you have the tables 1 to 6, which corresponds to the 6 CSV files that I just showed you. And we have an explanation of each of the field or columns in those files, with a description, the data type, right? In this case, a character, maximum of 30 characters long. And I have an example here. You will note also that some of the fields will have options that you can choose from when disclosing information. So depending on the field, you have to have a look. And also here we have the changes that we made in the demand response. So you can see before we only have 1 field, now we have a few more fields here to cover demand response. And the other change we made was the when there's decline reason, when there's no offer received, we removed the test option here, but added scarcity and no reason. And you can read more about that in the decision paper. Yeah, so that's this. And then coming back to our presentation here. Talking now about the submission process. As I mentioned before, the information must be provided to us via authorities SFTP. And I would like to emphasize this part here too, because if you need to set up a new SFTP account with us, please make this request in advance. I'll talk more about how you do it, but because our team is very busy, we might take some days to have that set up. So sooner the better, please. And of course, you can use the transfer client of your preference. This is just an example, WinSSCP, SCP, sorry, which is a very commonly used one. And please pay attention to the deadlines. Now moving on to some of the received questions, as questions that we received via email. Two main questions we had. First is, how should I submit no return? So basically, if this participant was active before, but in this quarter is not really active or didn't really request for any product in the VC market. It's a 4-step process, really. Just download the CSV template from our website. You only need one file from those 6, just a request master file. All you have to do is to rename that file according to the year and quarter that you are submitting information for. So in this example here, number 2, you have the year and quarter X, and then this participant just changed to 2025 Q3, and submit the file. Nothing else. Don't add any information to the file. The file should contain the header and nothing else. And the other question was, if I'm a trader or a broker, do I need to submit information? The answer is no, because the requirement falls on the requester to disclose the information, right? So those were the questions we received via email. Just a reminder again, first data submission is no later than 14 October. And if you need the SFTP account, please email data.products@ea.govt.nz. They will be more than happy to assist you. And we'll send an email reminding of that to you later today. So with that, I just open for questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Paulo. So just encouraging you, if you have a question, throw it into the Q&A function. If you're thinking it, likely others are as well. The presentation was so good, Paulo, that you've covered everything.
Yeah.
So we've got half an hour set aside today, so this is a good opportunity just to maximize having these 3 experts in the room. And you're also welcome to raise a hand if you'd like to ask verbally. Julia or James or Paulo, did you have anything that you wanted to add or thought might be one of the key concerns?
I just wanted to mention one thing. If by any chance you have questions later, also feel free to email us, monitoring@ea.govt.nz. And this webinar will be being recorded, so the record will be also shared.
And we'll update the frequently asked questions document with any questions that get asked now or after the session.
Perfect, thank you, great. We do have a question from Belinda. Would you like to switch on your camera and go ahead? Thank you.
When you're saying that we only need to provide information if we are a requester, does that mean if I'm going out with an RFI or an RFP to receive prices, we have to provide the data? But if somebody is coming to us and requesting prices from us, we don't?
That's correct.
Yeah.
The requester, it's on the requester to provide those responses as well. So if someone is requesting a price from you, they will report your response to their request.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. There is a question from Paul Fisher in the chat. or in the Q&A, sorry, do you have to submit your files using SFTP or can you email?
SFTP, that's the route we use.
Yes.
Email is just not secure enough.
Right. Thank you. So no question is a stupid question. Encouraging you to use this time. It might be that there are not a whole lot of questions today. And you've been given the email to fire them through if you think of something great at 11 p.m. tonight. Monitoring at ea.govt.nz. Is there anything else that our presenters want to mention or throw out there? All right. Doesn't look like there's anything else from participants at this stage.
There's another question from Paul. Does the first submission period mean contracts operating during 1st of July to 30th of September or requested during that period cover that same period?
Say again. Can you repeat that?
Does the first submission period mean contracts operating during 1st of July?
No, requested during that period.
Yeah.
Or requested, yeah.
So there'll be 4 contracts requested during 1st of July or between 1st of July and 3rd September. Yeah.
Not those already being traded, but already effective during that time.
So I think the answer to Paul's question there is it's about the time for the request, not what the time for when the contract's in operation.
Great, thank you.
Question, Chris?
Yes. So question from Chris. Do we have to submit data for the last quarter only?
Yes. Exactly.
Yep.
From
1st of July to 30th September.
Right.
So requests made during that last quarter.
Yes, and there's a bit in the notice about if a request in a negotiation kind of span 2 quarters, what you do in that instance. Set out in the notice. So.
Correct.
Excellent. Yeah, good to clarify those key dates.
And also reminded that the data collection will happen quarterly after that. So 10 business days after the end of each quarter, we hope to receive data from applicable participants.
Excellent, thank you. I'm just banking on the longer I don't say anything, we might get some more questions, but
there is another question. So about email reminders. Are we sending email reminders?
For the data collection or when
No, I don't think we are sending email reminders. That's not what we usually do, I don't think, in practice for other notices.
makes sense.
And we, yeah, sorry.
No, sorry, you. Did you want to finish that thought, or?
As there might be new people coming in, I think sending an email that we might not capture everybody that was required, all the applicable participants.
100%. Yeah. There's just a little question: will slides be sent around afterwards?
Oh yes, I think we're happy to share the slides and the
recording.
the recording of this webinar as well.
Excellent. All right. So I suppose one more minute if you've got a sort of even a half-formed question. Now is your chance to have that answered. Otherwise, via email later.
Oh, another question just in. Can a participant submit as they go? For example, for infrequent requesters.
That's a good question. I think we better check with our data products team on that one.
Yeah,
I think what they, yes, we'll check that one and get back to you. Sorry, but I don't see any reason. Well, yeah, I can't answer that. I see, because I'm not dealing with the data submitted.
It's a good question. Well, we've got about 7 minutes left. We can sign off early and give people 7 minutes back in their day, or we'll just stare at the screen for another 30 seconds. It looks like the questions pop up on your screen a bit sooner. But we might be through everything here. Yeah.
just highlight if you have any question later, please email us. Again, monitoring@ea.govt.nz.
Yeah, that email address is on the screen, and you will receive these slides and the recording, and the FAQs will be on the website. So thank you so much for joining today. Great work, team. I think that's all of the questions that we're going to get. So thank you for attending, and great work to the presenters, and see you next time. Ka kite. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Yeah.